Alrighty. To be respectful of everyone's time, we'll go ahead and jump in. Thanks for joining us this evening. Appreciate you being here for the virtual info session. This is the only virtual session we'll have all semester, hence why it's being recorded. So if you have any friends who wanted to be here and couldn't make it, this will be available online or by request. And then we'll also have a couple more in-person sessions over the next couple weeks. We have 3 more coming up. So that information is available on our Get Involved UC as well as our Instagram. So go ahead and check that out if you wanted to come chat in person or tell one of your friends to come see us. So my name's Christina Seghetti. I am the program coordinator of the honors program. So my job is all things marketing and admissions for honors program and overseeing the application process for students like you that are already part of our campus and want to join the honors community. So as you probably already know, our application is open at this moment. It opened up on September 16th, and you have until midnight, essentially 11:59 p.m. on December 1st to finish your application. That is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. So it will come up quick. Keep an eye on the calendar, and you're able to review the questions, the essay questions on the application ahead of time. So if you head over to our website, go to students, and then there's drop down, you'll click current UC students. And then if you click the apply now button on that page, it'll take you to the application where you can see all these questions beforehand and get started on that. So without further ado, I'm going to let my ambassadors who I'm joined by introduce themselves, and then we'll jump into the nitty-gritty. Once this loads.
Okay, hi, my name's Ellie Joyce. I'm a third-year communication design major at DAP, and I'm currently on co-op at the Livewell Collaborative as a design research intern, and I'm working on 2 projects. One is a Cincinnati Children's Hospital project, and then I'm also head of publicity. So as you can see, I love English Bulldogs, especially mine, Dottie, and then I love to play pool, even though I'm not very good at it.
Whoa. Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Layla. I am a second-year political science and journalism major with a certificate in nonprofits and community leadership, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm currently the program assistant for the Women's Center this year, and I'm also a research assistant for Dr. Lauren Forbes through the Arts and Sciences Department. And on the right are just a couple of pictures of me and my friends, and at the bottom right is just me and the UBSALC last year.
Hi everyone, I'm Sadie. I'm a second year art history major with a minor in business administration. I'm currently an intern at the Contemporary Arts Center in Cincinnati. I am the external affairs intern. And then some of my photos are just me with my friends, the MoMA in New York, my cats, my dog. Yeah.
All right. So you'll be able to ask each of the students, the ambassadors, questions towards the end. Again, I ask if you have any questions, either drop them in the Q&A or just hold on to them to unmute at the end of the presentation. And the students are here to provide their insight and their experiences. So I definitely encourage you to chat with them before you head out of the meeting. So to get started, if you're not familiar with our program, we are a non-traditional honors program. We call our students global citizen scholars, meaning that our students are equipped with the skills, the knowledge, the confidence to help solve the world's complex problems through innovative efforts. So it can sound like a lot, but really we want all of our students to define what being a global citizen scholar means to them. So that might mean studying abroad. It might mean taking a seminar with global perspectives, and it might just mean getting really involved on campus and meeting as many different folks as you can and really expanding your understanding of not only your community surroundings, but the global impact that you can have as a student at UC. So by being a non-traditional honors program, we are very focused on experiential learning, getting our students outside of the classroom. And while academic rigor is still important to us, we're not requiring you to take a bunch of extra classes to maintain a 4.0 GPA or anything like that. We really want to see student leaders. So we do this by taking an individualized student-centered approach where all of our students are paired up with their own honors advisor who will help guide them through the program. They'll help you decide things that you want to complete throughout your time as an honor student, kind of decide some of your future goals and ways to work towards that through the honors program. So exposing you to more opportunities and helping you align things with your interests. So again, we kind of do that by leaning into your passions, your gifts, and your talents. So not only in what are you working on in terms of your academics and your major, but what are you interested outside of that? And where can we help you really explore who you are and the things that you like to do. So you're not letting any of that go throughout your time as an undergraduate. So we do this through experiential learning. That is the core of everything you do. We'll be talking about honors experiences quite a bit, and you'll learn exactly what that means in just a couple slides. But all of our students complete honors experiences, and at the end of the experience, there's a reflection piece that's really important. So we really believe in the power of storytelling, and that all of our experiences should be reflected on because they make a really big impact, not only in your undergraduate career, but your life moving forward and helping you develop into that global citizen scholar that we talked about. As a program, we really prioritize civic participation, and inclusive excellence is at the core of everything that we do. So by graduation, all of our honors students will have completed the Gateway to University Honors class. It is the only class that is required by our program. It is just 1 credit hour. And as a transition student, meaning a student who is already on campus and joins the program during their undergraduate career, you'll be taking the course during the spring semester. So during the spring, the Gateway class is actually just half a semester long, and they're all taught by advisors. So you'll be getting to know the experts of the program in your classroom, and you'll be with a bunch of other new honor students who are also learning the ins and outs of what UHP has to offer. There's no fee associated with the class, so if you're already at 18 credit hours, adding it as your 19th will not penalize you financially at all. And in fact, there's no cost to being in the honors program. So if anything, we can provide money for you through grants, which again, we'll chat about later on. Another thing by graduation is those honors experiences. So we require all of our students to complete at least 5. It can sound like a lot, but to be fair, a lot of our students can complete those 5 in the first 1 or 2 years of being in the honors program. And a lot of students coming into the program after already being on campus bring retroactive experiences. And so in those cases, you might already have some honors experiences under your belt as you apply. We require everyone to maintain a learning portfolio, which is essentially like an online resume. You build this out in your Gateway class with your advisor and your peers, and it's really just a way for you to talk about everything that you complete throughout the program and include some other things about yourself. Great way to talk about your interests and your passions and really showcase who you are to potential employers, grad schools, all that good stuff. We require all our students to meet with an advisor at least once a year, but you're welcome to meet with them more than that. And then our base GPA is a 3.2. So to graduate with honors, you need to maintain that GPA. It's important to note that if you drop below that for a semester, you're not automatically kicked out. We'll try and work with you to bring that GPA back up. But if you are not there by graduation, you will not finish with the honors program. So we'll talk about experiences now. I'll hand it over to Ellie to get into the nitty-gritty of that.
So there are 3 different kinds of experiences that you can do to get those 5. The first one, seminars. There's about 10 to 12 different classes every fall and spring. Each one is a 3-credit course. They're taught by faculty that are chosen each year by a committee of faculty, staff, and students. And there's no prerequisites needed, and they're available to honors students of all years. I took one my freshman year and was with seniors, juniors, and sophomores. The second type is pre-approved. There's about 100 more opportunities offered by our office and community global partnerships. There's Co-op 2.0 involving campus involvement. There's research opportunities and campus leadership. And then the last one is self-design. This is the most broad one. You can really do whatever you want with this if you're passionate about it, and there's a learning curve to it, and you relate it back to global citizen scholars and why this experience will help you get closer to that statement. So some general experience criteria. So experiential learning and reflection. At least 75 hours of commitment, and it may seem like a lot, but really it's not. I have 2 self-designed in progress right now, and one of them is building a new portfolio for when I apply to co-ops in the summer. So that I would have to do it anyway, so it's kind of nice I'm getting that honors experience, but I also have backing and I have a mentor to help me get that portfolio where I want it to be. So, as I said, guidance from an instructor, mentor, expert. I reached out to a graduate of the honors program, and she's helping me build my portfolio. She graduated from my same major. And then lastly, it must focus on innovation, impact, or inclusion. You pick one of them and you write a little statement. The application, pretty easy. Experiences are great. And then we'll go into some specific ones. So Collecting the World with Dr. Platts. I actually took this was the seminar I took my freshman year, and it has stayed my favorite class I've ever taken at UC. We got to go to various UC buildings and look at different collections. I got to go into Crosley Tower, which I probably will never do again because it was scary, but we got to directly engage with the collections across campus, confronting objects at a first hand in the archive, which was the bottom floor of the library, laboratories, museum, and other repositories. We got to go off campus to a UC archive area, and we saw so many art just like stuffed away, and it was so cool. And we got to have our phones to take pictures, and then we'd come back together and discuss what we saw. It was 3 hours once a week, and I got to meet so many people I would have never met before.
Another seminar class that is offered through UHP is Cincinnati Art and Architecture. This was an art and history course that was offered in the fall of 2023, and it was designed to familiarize students with the history of art and architecture in Cincinnati from 1788 to the present. And it's a very experiential seminar, so you'll be having hands-on field trips where you're studying a variety of different buildings, art, photography, murals, ceramics, and much more. Another part of UHP is our study tours. So through the honor seminars, you can travel abroad. Some of the past ones that we've done was in Egypt, Chile, Iceland, Brazil. This past spring semester, we had offered France and Italy and Germany as well. And I went on that Germany study tour trip, and it was amazing and very impactful. And in this upcoming school year in the spring, we'll be going to Belgium and the Netherlands through 2 different honors seminars as well. Some other signature experiences that are very important in UHP are UHP Discover and UHP Ramp. So Ramp is a biomedical research and mentoring program, and it's a pre-approved honors experience that is geared towards first and second year students that are trying to gain research experience. And they'll have mentors through different faculty members that are within whatever department you are in, usually a STEM-related field. And they may be from UC College of Medicine and Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center. And then for UHP Discover, it's almost the same thing, but it's for all of the other fields that are not STEM related. So humanities, social sciences, education, business, music, the arts, and you'll be paid hourly, so 15 an hour, and you'll work full time. I did UHP Discover, and it was a really, really cool experience, and I'm still working with that same professor today. Some other signature experiences are the Student Leader Roundtable and Tales of Resilience. The Student Leader Roundtable is for all student leaders that are on campus that are involved in different on-campus organizations and clubs. So you must actively attend organization meetings and events during the semester to participate, and you'll co-lead student-led discussions that are based on student organizations as well. And it again is a pre-approved honors experience. And then Tales of Resilience is for anyone that loves role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, and it's also a pre-approved honors experience that'll promote empathy and personal growth through storytelling.
And then just to talk more, kind of get a bigger list of some of our pre-approved experiences. So these are experiences that already exist on campus. It might be specific to your major, to an organization, and it's over 100 and they're pretty unique. So some of you guys might already be involved in some of these. So for on campus, if you're interested in leadership, there's student orientation leader, like the SOLs, which are the people that talk to incoming students and kind of mentor them and do like Bearcat Admissions Day. And then social change leadership program, Bearcat Buddies, Lead Tour, Co-op 2.0, Innovation Challenge. So these are all leadership that are on campus that already exist. And then there's research opportunities as well. So there's a Protégé undergraduate research and also a summer undergraduate research fellowship, which can help promote you to do some research. And there's also opportunities through identity-based offices. So Gen 1, ARC, and PRISM, which are all pre-approved for you to be part of and counts as an experience and just through offices that are on campus right now. And then there are experiences if you're in a specific major. So international co-ops, there's a nursing mentoring program, a PACE leader. So these are just some of the pre-approved experiences that already exist that you can be part of. And then lastly, there are self-designed experiences. So these are experiences that Ellie kind of talked on earlier, where you design your own experience. So for example, you can create a Facebook internship, or if I know someone who wanted to learn how to cook, so they decided to make a self-designed experience about learning how to cook. National Youth Leadership Training. So if you're a president of a club, so these experiences are just things that you shape and you can build into a self-designed. And now for some of the benefits. So with being an honors student, you do get priority registration for your classes. I think it's like 2 weeks before, but don't quote me on that. I know I get to register in like 2 weeks for spring, which is very early. So that's pretty nice, especially for those big classes that fill up really fast. Also leadership opportunities, like we mentioned, all the pre-approved experiences. It's a very individualized program where it's kind of you choose your own journey, and it's not just a standard program for where everyone does the same thing. You're getting to choose what you do. Honors seminars, which are not required to take, but offer really unique classes and topics, personalized activities. You get to network and meet a lot of different people that you would have never met before. It's a really great opportunity to make those connections. You get grant funding, so there are opportunities for grants and fellowships if you need support to do research or go for a conference or anything that you would need money for. There are grant opportunities. There are honors housing options. So for returning students, it does look a little different, but there are certain buildings and floors for honors students. There are honors exclusive programs, and then you can also build up your learning portfolio, which I personally like to use as kind of a resume. It just kind of shows off who you are. You build your reflection skills, and there's just a lot of opportunities to explore and kind of build who you are and who you want to be.
Thanks, y'all. So we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the actual application now. So the application is open, like I mentioned when I first started the meeting, and this is the only time that it'll be open all year. So to be eligible to apply for the honors program, you can be a first year, you can be a second year, you can be a third year. You are eligible as long as you have at least one full year of classes remaining. So if you're graduating this spring, unfortunately, you would not be eligible for the program, but anybody else is willing and able to apply. We require 3.2 GPA for eligibility. A good thing to know about the GPA requirement is that it does not necessarily make you more or less competitive. So if you have a 3.2 and someone else has a 3.7, does not necessarily mean that we're more likely to admit the 3.7 GPA, because we're really looking at you holistically, looking at what you're involved in, what your goals are, how what you want, like how well you align with our program. So what opportunities can we provide and what opportunities are you likely to actually take advantage of? Really looking for people to match up and become really heavily involved in our community. We are an undergraduate only program, so unfortunately no graduate students are eligible, but I think hopefully everyone in this meeting is an undergraduate student and therefore remains eligible. On the application itself, it starts out with some general questions. So of course, your major, your GPA, phone number, email, all that good stuff. And then we jump into essay questions. So there are 5 different essay questions. When you start the application, it's in Microsoft Forms, so it'll automatically save once you begin it. But you can also review those questions before you begin working on the application itself. They're available on our website. Again, when you go to the UC Honors page under prospective students, there's a drop down. You'll click on current students. On that page, there are 3 different buttons that say apply now. You'll click on that and it'll have all the essay questions listed out for you. So definitely can get working on those ahead of time. And then lastly, we ask for an updated resume. So something important to note about the resumes is that does not necessarily mean that we're looking for people who've only done a bunch of internships or shadowing. Any type of work or involvement you've done is important to us. Say you're a first year and you were working 20 hours a week while you were in high school. That's something that we would want to know. That says a lot about your ability to juggle different commitments. It says a lot about your responsibilities and your leadership. And so we really want to get a full idea of who you are as a student on campus and then before campus, if that's still relevant in your involvements and things that you're doing. So definitely share as much information as you can with us throughout the application process. So like I said before, this is the one opportunity to apply. If you do not apply during this window, you will not be able to apply again until next fall. We do not take applications in the spring or the summer for current students. This slide says applications are open September through November. This year, again, slightly different. It's going to be open through December 1st because that is the Sunday right after Thanksgiving. So every year that is our deadline. The Sunday after Thanksgiving, everything is due. So definitely take your time as you're reading the essays. Because you have so much time to apply, it's important to put a little bit more effort and thought into what you're writing. We really want to hear from you, and we really want to have a good idea of what you're looking to get out of the program. Being as specific as possible will really only help you. We typically take about 150 students through this process, though this year we may be accepting a little bit more than that number, so it's a great year to apply. And like we said before, based on your holistic review, not just your GPA. So really looking at where you're involved, volunteer hours, tutoring, all that good stuff. If you are admitted into our program, you will formally start in the spring. So you'll hear from us throughout December. We will be doing grade checks between December 15th and 19th. Final grades are due December 14th, so we'll have a few days to make sure that you remain eligible with that GPA requirement, and then all decisions will be sent out to students on December 20th. If you're accepted, it is at that point that you will be able to sign up for the Gateway to Honors class, which, as we mentioned before, is the 1 credit hour class required for all honors students. Again, in the spring, it's just half semester course, and it's just 1 credit hour, where you're really just getting to know your peers and understanding our program a little bit better. And then you'll have access to all the benefits right away. The only thing is honors housing. If you are currently in a dorm and you want to switch into honors housing in January, unfortunately, that is not something we can accommodate. However, you'll be eligible to apply for honors housing for next academic year. Another important note about honors housing is that not only do we have floors available for honors students specifically, but you also get priority housing. So the portal opens up a little bit early for our honors students to get into campus housing prior to others. Again, we're getting a little redundant here, but we are looking at you holistically. So we are balancing your experiences and your essays as well as your academics, looking at your extracurriculars, impact that you've had, if you've won any awards, if you've made an impact on your community, your school, even before arriving at UC, that's something that we would want to know. All right, so that was all the information we had for y'all. I see we have a couple questions in the Q&A, so we'll get to that. I'm going to keep this screen up. If you want to scan it, that link tree is actually going to take you right to, well, it's going to take you to a link tree. The QR code is going to take you to a link tree that has a link to our website, a link to the application. All of our social media pages are on there, which is a great way to stay up to date about everything going on in the honors program. Even more opportunities than we went over in our presentation. All right. So, first question, if this is your first semester and you don't currently have a set GPA, what should we do? Excellent question. So on the application on the first page where it asks for your GPA, if it's your first semester and you don't have a university GPA, you'll just put 0. And we'll know that you're in your first semester, no big deal. We'll be checking everyone's GPA at the end of the semester regardless. So just know that you'll be good to go on that. And it says on the application, in case you forget, that you can put a 0 there in its place. Another question. Should we or can we include activities and clubs we're involved in on campus, even if we are freshmen? Absolutely. We want to hear about all of your early involvements and see if you have kind of an idea of the general trajectory you want to go in, if there are clubs that are extra special to you that really speak to you. Talk about them. Let us know what those things are. And yeah. We want to hear about your early involvements. That means a lot if you're already getting super involved within the first couple months of school. All right. Another one. If you are involved in something like nursing I lead, would this count for the honors program if it was taken during this fall semester? So this is a specific question that I don't have an exact answer for. I'm not entirely sure what nursing I lead is, but if it falls under our pre-approved experiences, then yes, you could use it towards the honors program, even if you're taking it prior to being in the experience. So something good to note is retroactive experiences. If you are a freshman or a sophomore, you can bring one retroactive experience into the honors program with you once you're accepted. And if you are an upperclassman, then you can bring 2 retroactive experiences with you. So that just means if you're already completing something that typically would count towards honors, and you can prove that you completed it, we'll count it towards your honors experiences. So it's a really great way, especially if you're like an upperclassman and you're worried about getting things done in time. Know that if you've already been involved, those are things we'll consider. And not only does that work for pre-approved experiences, but it also works for self-designed. So if there's something that you were involved in, you did well over 75 hours and you had a mentor and a guide to kind of help you through it, that's something that you could talk with your advisor about making into one of your retroactive experiences. And then we've got one more question. If you aren't accepted this year, are you able to reapply the next year? Absolutely. On the application, it'll ask if you have applied in the past. And then you'll just say yes or no, and when you may have applied in the past. And that is something that we take into consideration. Students who are really committed to being part of the program, we like to see that, and we like to know that, again, you really align with what we have to offer. So yes, you're able to reapply, and we'd be happy to read your resume your application again next year. Are there any scholarships and grants honor students can apply for? So no, we don't have any scholarships. However, we do have the honors grants. So I know we briefly touched on this in the presentation, but I'll talk a little bit more about what exactly the grants can look like. So grants, there's no limit to how many you can apply for, and there's no limit to how many you can be actually awarded. But there is a limit on like how much money each individual grant is. They also must be used towards an honors experience. So if you're looking for money for housing and things like that, unfortunately, we are not going to be able to help you on that front. But for things like our study tours that we offer, which are, again, those seminars where then you go abroad with your class for 10 to 12 days at the end of the semester, all of those opportunities are automatically given grant funding. So it'll be a really discounted price to actually be able to go abroad. You'll get a grant from the honors program, and then you'll also receive a grant from UC International. So it's a really affordable way to get out of the country, and it's a really nice way to do it if you've never done it before, because you'll have an expert and a guide with you, as well as a bunch of your friends and peers. But back to the grants question, it's not just for those study tours, but for anything that you're doing in the program. So if you are going to go to a conference as part of a self-designed, you could apply for a grant to help fund part of your travel or your admission into the conference, for example. So again, yes, we provide grants. No, we do not have scholarships, but it's a great benefit if you're looking to do things off campus, or if you need supplies for something that you're interested in pursuing. See another one. What is the process of getting an already completed co-op approved? Is that a possibility, for example, working at a law firm? So co-ops are a little bit tricky, and our students might be able to chime in a little bit more on this as well. The co-ops, if they're required for your major, unfortunately, they will not count towards your honors experiences. Reason for that, students in engineering and DAP who have to do 5 co-ops, if we counted those as honors experience, then just by being in their program, they would automatically finish the honors. So co-ops only really are going to count if it's not a requirement for your major, or if you are going like above and beyond, like for example, doing an international co-op. There's also a lot of ways to turn your co-op into a self-designed. An example I like to use, say you have a co-op in San Francisco, you've never been there before, and you want to learn more about the city, you could potentially create a self-designed experience just by diving into the history of San Francisco, having your boss show you around, learning about the culture out there, and maybe doing like a food tour of the city or something like that, and journaling everything that you do. So there are a lot of ways to try and integrate that, but the co-op itself does not count if it is a requirement for your program. Okay, see another question about co-op, so hopefully that answered that. Can I join the RAMP program if accepted into the honors program as a freshman? What should I include in my RAMP program application? Really good question. Yes, you can still do RAMP this spring, even if you're brand new to the program. So it's worth applying to this fall. Those applications are opening up in the next couple weeks. And it is a really competitive process, so just be aware of that. But yes, if there's something that you want to be involved in the spring that is an honors experience, you can still apply now, and we'll just kind of make that decision as your application comes through. So when you say, what should I include in my RAMP program application, I'm not entirely sure what you are asking in that scenario. If it's asking about like honors experiences and things, I guess kind of ignore that piece, but having a strong resume, leadership experiences, all the things that we look for in the general application will help you in the RAMP application as well. If I wanted to apply to be an RA, would the honors program and being an RA be too much of a time commitment at the same time? I don't know if any of our ambassadors can speak on this. I want to check with you guys before I start rambling. I don't think none of your RAs. Oh, go ahead, Sadie.
I'm not an RA, but in terms of time commitment, I can talk about that a little bit. The honors program itself is not I don't want to say it's not a time commitment, but it's as much of a time commitment as you put into it. So the time commitment will be your experiences And then only for spring semester, your gateway course, which is, I think it's only 7 or 8 weeks. So it's only half of the semester and it's for 3 hours every week. So that's your only like set time commitment, and then just whatever your experiences are. So for myself, I am involved in a lot of other things on campus too. I'm also an honors ambassador, which is why I'm here right now. But it's not like a crazy time commitment. It's really what you put into it and what you want to see the commitment as. So I use like my other involvements as part of my experiences. So my time all overlap into one, if that makes sense.
That's helpful. Thanks, Sadie. I'll add too, like I know a lot of our students are RAs as well as honor students. It's definitely able to balance it. And also to Sadie's point, honors is really what you make of it. The experiences don't have, aside from like being 75 hours in total, there's no set time frame of when you have to complete that 75 hours. So some experiences people will complete over the course of 2 months. Others will take 6 months to a year. It really depends on what the experience is. And so we really try to accommodate different schedules and be really flexible to fit your individual needs. So being an RA and being in the honors program, definitely doable. A lot of our students do it. And yeah, it'll just kind of be up to you as an individual of like what you can juggle and handle. But I think that it's something that a lot of people can manage, and I would think that you can too. Are there any interviews required for admission into the honors program? There are not any interviews required. We are just looking at the application itself. So don't have to worry about that part. Really just put your heart and soul into those essays, and that's going to carry you a long way. All right, it's looking like those are all the questions we have right now. I'll leave some more time for folks to ask more questions. And if you'd like to hear more from the students, please feel free to ask them specifics about their experiences. We've got a wide array of majors here, so they can chat about what it's like to be in different programs while also balancing being in the honors program. And honestly, while we wait for some more folks to ask questions, Ellie, I'm totally going to put you on the spot. As someone who's in DAP and juggles co-op with honors and being a student, I'd love to hear you talk a little bit more about what that experience has been like for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I'm currently on co-op. It's my second one, and I've been in the honors program for 3 years, and I haven't found it hard to juggle at all. The reason I have my co-op, I like to say it's because of the honors program. I work as a student worker in the design and media office at the honors program. And through there, my boss encouraged me to apply to Livewell because 2 previous workers who had my position were working there. And then through connections that the honors program provided, I ended up getting the job. And then here I am again, staying there. And being able to juggle the timing of it all wasn't an issue because, like I said earlier in your presentation, I was able to make an experience out of something I had to do for my major. So time-wise, I don't think it's bad at all. I was able to add being an ambassador to my plate on top of being in a sorority and on in clubs on campus. But I think it's really easy, honestly, to balance it as long as you know your limits and are able to schedule yourself adequately and know what you're capable of.
Great answer. Thanks, Ellie. I appreciate you being so responsive to me, putting you on the spot like that. We have another question, which is kind of related. How does being in the honors, or how does the honors program help in searching for a co-op? I don't know if Ellie, you want to chat more about this. I know you just said you kind of found your co-op through some connections in the honors program. I will just say too, we can't really help you necessarily like in the search for a co-op, but I know we give like a lot of letters of recommendation, and really just having a robust resume and robust variety of experiences to take in with you in the interview really kind of helps set you apart. I don't know if there's anything else y'all want to add, but that's my perspective.
I will add, through the honors program, you can meet people who are older than you and can help guide you. I met somebody who wasn't in my major, but knew what the co-op process was like. and was able to give me pointers on how to interview, what jobs to look for, and just be that unofficial mentor to help me along in my career.
Awesome. Yes, Sadie.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, this is not necessarily anything tangible, but just like for the honors program in general, like it just, for me, like it has provided me skills and like made me get out there and do stuff that I wouldn't have done before. And like in that, I will be searching for a co-op next spring for my first one. So it is, like they said, like it's giving you experiences, it's building those like personal relationship skills, networking. So it's not necessarily a tangible thing, but it's those skills that you need.
Yeah, thank you. One of the things that we like to say, we have a student quote that sometimes we show in our presentations, where a student is saying, the honors is not just a bullet point on your resume, but it gives you the answers to the interview questions and the ability to lead on your first day. We really like that, just like we're here to kind of give you the skills and the confidence to help propel you forward. And again, just having these really interesting experiences, having like access to undergraduate research, that's pretty rare. Getting involved in like leadership opportunities from really early on will definitely set you apart when you're in the search for co-ops. So something that we really pride ourselves on. See, we've got another question. Are there different times for the honors specific course? What if the class time interferes with our schedule? So there are different times for the honors course, and you can find them on our website. On the prospective student page, we have the times listed out of when we typically offer the gateway class. We try and make it work with everyone's schedules. If you're like studying abroad or on co-op, then we do have like a workaround. But for students who are on campus, the times are all listed out. We have, I think, like 8 different sections. So they're all at different times and pretty flexible. So I wouldn't worry too much about that part. And in the chat, I joined late. Were there any tips on the application side discussed, and can this presentation be emailed? Yes, so I'll pull up those slides again, but what we're really looking for in the application is for students to really be, I guess we'll go to this one. Students who are really active leaders, engaged on campus. We're going to ask 5 different essay questions, and you can view them on our website before you actually start your application. Encourage you to get started on those early. Some of them are longer than others. And then we also look for your resume. So we want to see all the things you've been involved in, both on campus, and then maybe if you're like a freshman or a second year, some things that you were doing beforehand, but primarily, what have you been involved in at UC? How have you contributed to the campus community? Where do you see yourself fitting in as a leader? Things like that. So again, it's holistic review. So our base GPA that we require is a 3.2. So as long as you meet that requirement, then we'll be reviewing all of your questions, and you're eligible for the program. We're undergraduate only, and you have to have at least a full year remaining at UC, but I think that's probably most of the people here on this call. But yeah, really just highlighting where you're involved and what you're passionate about is going to go a long way. And then as far as this presentation goes, we are recording it, so we will have this available on our website in the coming weeks. I'd be happy to email it to you as well. All right. I'm not seeing any more questions, but I'll give it just another minute in case we've got something jumping in. But I want to thank you all so much for your time. Really appreciate you being here. Appreciate your interest in our program. Thanks for such wonderful questions and engagement. It means a lot that you have so much to ask us and are so curious about what we have going on. I'll pull up this page one more time as well. If you want to scan that QR code to our link tree, you'll be able to find our application on there, as well as just everything on our website. So things like our pre-approved experiences, you can look at sample portfolios other students have made, learn a little bit more about the Gateway class, things like that. I encourage you to spend some time on our website because it'll only help you throughout your application process. Our Instagram specifically, we'll be posting updates on throughout the application period and beyond. So definitely take a peek at that. A lot of our honors involvements are highlighted on that page. All right, it looks like we are all set. Thank you for asking questions, appreciate it. Thanks again for being here, and we hope to see your applications here soon. Have a great night, y'all.